this is part 2, everybody. I couldn't put this all in one part. I had to make a part 2 since it was getting rather long anyway, and I needed to put in my charger for the battery, for the camera here. Alright. I'm gonna turn that on. Alright. 1. Okay.
Well, you know what? Can I say something about that issue? The girlfriend is just as guilty, because the girlfriend should dump him.
Well, guess what, Rodney? I dumped her because the way she treated me. The way she treated me was pathetic. Because the same thing that you thought I was doing, you thought that I wanted to be with Robin Moore, which wasn't true, by the way, was despicable. And I dumped Crystal Jones because I was sick and tired of her attitude. And the way that you thought about me was the same way Crystal Jones would have thought. She would have wanted me to say that I wanted to be with her. Crystal Jones would have said that. Crystal Jones would have said to me, do you want to be with Robin Moore? Do you want to be with her? That's how Crystal Jones would be. The way you acted, Rodney, right there was pathetic. Thinking that I wanted to be with Robin Moore? Think again. Alright.
That's right. She's just as guilty because she's staying with him with a pervert.
No, she's not as guilty because I'm guilty of being with her because of the way her behavior was. Because I shouldn't have went out with her. Because I didn't expect her behavior to be terrible. And she was one of the reasons why I didn't get to know much about Robin Moore, because Crystal Jones did not want me to have any friends on Facebook that were females, because she would always think that I wanted to be with them. You have to realize, Rodney, that Crystal Jones was just like how you were in this red card video. That you thought that I wanted to be with Robin Moore. You thought that I wanted to be with Robin Moore. Think again. Just because I used the joke, that don't mean that I wanted to be with her. Give me a break. Alright.
Yes. Even though they think it's this is pretty cool, but it's not.
No, wait a minute. Now, I wouldn't go that far. I wouldn't go that far, Nick. Nick, well, my take on that is this. Sex should be between a husband and a wife. That's my take on it.
Well, what I said was a different story between them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but my thing is about that is, and I'm going to say this to Aubrey too. Aubrey, you need to choose your friends better.
I've already said, Rodney, it's not about friends, it's about communication with your friends. Communication is key. If you don't use communication, they will leave you. And they will never forgive you.
That's what I'm saying. You was in charge of the call.
Yeah, he was in charge of the call, Rodney. But the problem was, do you think he would have known that I was using that joke? Honestly? And the red card that you did, he thought that I used the joke towards Robin Moore because of your red card video, and probably even Steve's rant as well. But the thing about it is, it was your red card video that caused Aubrey to think that I was using the joke towards Robin Moore, which wasn't true. I did not use that joke towards Robin Moore, Rodney. You thought that. And I think it was you that accused me. It was you that thought that I wanted to be with Robin Moore. And that's all I gotta say. If you thought that I wanted to be with Rodney Moore, think again. And of course, Aubrey Scott was doing his own videos on his side. And how would he would have known? How he would have known about me better? Or to say to me, to communicate to me, and say that Robin Moore was under the age of 18, she was 13, and the jokes that you're telling, you have to tone it down, or don't say those jokes. And of course, Aubrey Scott never talked with me. He never said Robin Moore's age to me. He never said to me that I should be using that I shouldn't be using those jokes. And he allowed me to use the joke. That was one of the things. And also, I will say this. Robin Moore did not help because she did not say anything about the joke. Because there is one fact that you probably don't know, that I used the joke twice. And the second time I used the joke, I was actually talking to Gary at the time. And it was the second time that I used the joke is when Robin Moore left the chat. And that's all I really got to explain. Moving on.
On that call, on that video where you was filming the video and stuff, Aubrey, you had a responsibility to protect this young lady while she was on the call. So I'm holding you responsible too, Aubrey, because you were supposed to set guidelines and rules on the channel. You knew the whole time that Pat had a potty mouth.
Now, I'm actually going to agree with Rodney on this case. Somewhat. I'm going to agree that Aubrey Scott should have had some rules and regulations. Or, yeah, I think I pronounced regulations wrong. But he should definitely have some rules. And he probably should have told me not to use the jokes while Robin Moore was in the chat. I probably wouldn't have done that. Honestly. The one thing that I will say that I do not agree on was I can't now that I can't I forgot what he never mind like I said, there should be some rules and regulations, but now I remember it was he thought that I used the joke towards Robin Moore. I wasn't. And I did not try to hurt Robin Moore intentionally at all. Just wanted to point that out.
And by you knowing the whole time that he had a potty mouth, you were responsible too.
Oh, and yeah, Aubrey Scott was kind of responsible for what happened, but he wasn't all responsible. I can't blame all on Aubrey Scott because there were a couple of things. You can blame Robin Moore a little bit because she did not say anything, and she didn't. She did not say that she was offended by the joke that I told. If she would have said that, I would have stopped. I would have stopped big time. Because the first time I said it, she should have said to me, "Don't use the joke, I'm offended. Please don't use it." And I probably would have stopped. I wouldn't have said it a second time if she would have said something like that. Alright.
Aubrey would have taken that if Robin was on, but I am not going to comment.
But see, that's the thing. Aubrey should not have had Patrick on the call from the get-go.
Wrong, Rodney. What should have happened was there should have been communication Communication. It was fine for him to have me on the chat because we were friends at the time. But thanks to you with this stupid red card video, thanks to you, me and Aubrey are no longer friends because Aubrey Scott believed your video. Honestly. And I'm still not happy about it. Because if it wasn't for what you said, I don't think anybody would have red carded me at all. I don't think so. I think if people would have came to me and talked to me about my side of the story in detail, if they would have talked to me and I would have explained it to them my side of the story, I think it would have been a lot better and I wouldn't have been red carded. So I just wanted to prove a point. I wasn't allowed to actually say my side of the story, my full side of the story. I only said part of my story, not the full end of it. All right.
Because of his potty mouth, he knows more than anybody that he has a potty mouth.
And the thing about it, Rodney, I wouldn't have had a potty mouth if people would have talked to me and said that they were offended by my jokes. If they would have said that they were offended by my jokes, I probably wouldn't have said any jokes at all. See, the only reason why I told jokes was because I just wanted to make people laugh. That was it, Rodney. I didn't want to have any drama or to have anybody offended. All people had to do was talk to me. Talk to me. Did anybody talk to me and say that any of my jokes were offended? No. Nobody talked with me. You gotta realize, Rodney, that communication is key. And when you don't have any communication, this is what happens. Something like this happens. Somebody gets unintentionally hurt. And that's what happened with Robin. And then guess what? Somebody got intentionally hurt, which was me. And that's all I gotta say about that. Moving on.
I try not to be that funny about this, but I mean, sometimes when I'm on doing my videos and I'm on a script call with my friend doing a video, I mean, I do get a little bit agitated when it comes to my games, but I don't use that kind of language towards a person that is 13. Patrick, you don't say that kind of stuff towards a minor.
Well, Craig, you thought that I was saying it towards her, and I actually wasn't, like I have explained during these two parts.
But you know what? If I was Mrs. Fleming, I would have him prosecuted. Because that's...
You can't have anybody prosecuted without evidence, Rodney. You can't have anybody prosecuted without evidence. You know what happened with the Michael Jackson trial in 2005? He got acquitted. I would be acquitted. Because I would tell my side of the story. At least I would get a fair trial. Honestly. See, the only way you should have somebody prosecuted is if they are actually guilty. That's what I really want to explain. And that's to Rodney and to everybody else.
Because that's child pornography. That's considered child pornography.
Child pornography? What are you talking about, Rodney? What are you talking about? You know who uses child pornography in their lives? You know one person that used child pornography, and I talked about this. I said there was child porn on this person's computer, and that was Jarrett Fogel. I don't like that stuff because I find it pointless. I find child pornography pointless. How can what I said be child pornography? How can that be? How can that be, Rodney? How can that be? Honestly. You're making that up. If I actually had child porn, I'd be in prison right now. Thank you very much.
To a minor.
That's considered derogatory stuff.
Right.
that's all of a sudden is something that can get you in trouble. And because something like that is just, it's wrong. Because, you know, so when I came on there last night, I could barely listen to it because I just could not believe that he would do something like that. Because I told Matthew Fee as well and Alice Ross, as I talked with them and told them about it, what happened, and said that I couldn't bear to listen to it because I couldn't bear to hear about some of my friends getting hurt like that. It really hurt me. Did you really expect anything less from him?
No.
Well, I got hurt too. I got big time hurt over the course of quite a bit of years, especially with Crystal Jones. Trust me. Being falsely accused hurts. Have you ever been falsely accused? Let me know. I know Michael Jackson has.
Because I know his way. I know his way. That's why I didn't invite him to any more calls with me after last year. The first time he did it and said it to Gary, he tried it with me and I set him straight. I told him I'm a married man. And you know what I'm saying?
Okay, so now Rodney is saying that I used it towards him. Like I said, that was the prank that I was trying to do, just like I would do with Aubrey Scott. See, Rodney, if you would have talked with Aubrey Scott about it, you probably would have known that that was the same joke that I told to Aubrey Scott. You have to realize that. And if you thought that I was going to do it to you, and you're saying that I did do it to you, especially when you said that I did it to Gary, honestly. So are you changing your story? So now I'm getting confused. Is it Gary or you? Honestly. It's ridiculous that you did not communicate with me well, and then you just chucked me out.
That shit to me. Excuse my language. You just don't say it.
Yeah, and you said shit to me too, honestly. The way what you said in this video is practically ridiculous. See, you've done a lot of things wrong, even after this red card video. See, the way you treat people sometimes is pathetic. See, you're fucking pathetic. You're fucking pathetic, Rodney. You are. And trust me, once this video is done, I'm going to tell you what happened after I left the Skype chat. And trust me, you're going to find out why Rodney, I think, falsely accused me. And yeah, I believe Rodney falsely accused me, honestly, because of what I said. And I will explain this.
Yeah.
After the video.
I mean, he didn't do it again. He didn't come back on the call again.
I didn't come back on the call again because I was hurt, Rodney. I was hurt. How would you feel if somebody lashed out at you? Honestly. I didn't come back at the call because of that. And trust me, there were more things that happened outside that Skype chat. And trust me, and everybody's going to find out. And it involves you.
I mean, Aubrey knew this a long time about Patrick. He knew this a long time about him. So I'm holding Aubrey responsible too, because Aubrey should have said something about it. Really, Aubrey should not let him on the call. That's my opinion.
Okay, that's his opinion about it. Who cares?
And I don't care if people give me a thumbs down on this video, but this is why.
Yeah, and I gave you a thumbs down.
Way I feel about it, because Aubrey, you knew he's that way. You know, Robin is a girl that's innocent. She's already going through stuff as it is. Who needs a Patrick on the call?
Yeah, and I was innocent too, until somebody tried to convince others that I was guilty. Rodney, yeah, you. You tried to convince everybody that I was guilty. Convinced that I told this joke towards that person. It's ridiculous. See, this is why you don't have friends anymore. Because you take things out of proportion. And I congratulate Kyle Hirschon for that. Because what he said in the comment box of your video was true. See, the problem was nobody, and I mean nobody, came to me and talked with me. There was no communication whatsoever.
You prove a good point, right?
And Rodney did not prove his point. No, communication's key.
I mean, personally, if I was Robin's father and stuff, if I was Robin's father and this stuff was going on, Patrick would be going to jail.
I've kind of already explained that, Rodney. If she was my daughter, trust me, if somebody actually said something towards her and she was my daughter, I wouldn't be too happy about it. And I will say this, if she would have been my daughter, I definitely wouldn't have said that joke at all in front of her, honestly. See, I would have known much more about her, Rodney. Much more. But because she's not my daughter, I didn't know much more about her. I knew very little about her. She was like a complete stranger to me. If she would have communicated with me, we probably would have been better friends.
That's my opinion on it. He'll be going to jail.
Not necessarily, Rodney. You have to have proof in order for that to happen.
Right.
I mean, and then people that you call your friend and stuff, friends don't hurt each other like that. If you know a friend is perverted like him, you shouldn't hang around him.
Well, the thing about it is, do you think people knew about Jared Fogle? Honestly, Rodney, do you think people knew about Jared Fogle, knew that he was going to be a sex predator? Nobody knew that until they found out through evidence. And now he's in prison.
My take on it.
My take.
See, I don't like that stuff either. I find underage girls to be... If you are not under the age of 18, you should wait until that person that's under the age of 18 turns over to 18 and over. That's how it should be. And by the way, I feel that also, and I hate this with a passion, I do not like when people go after an underage girl under the age of 10 and try to fondle their genitals. I hate that. That definitely is more perverted.
You should cut him off, man. My take on it, you should cut him off because I want to try and keep my friends as close as possible. I mean, I don't want to hurt anyone on Skype, Facebook, or YouTube, but if situations like that happen, we need to cut the person off.
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, the key is, we want to cut drama off because we want to do the Sky Game Show Network.
The problem is, Rodney, you did not do that. You created more drama by doing this red card video.
And the way I look at it is this: there shouldn't be no perversion on there. It shouldn't be perversion like Pat does. I mean,
there wasn't, Rodney. You just thought that way.
We joke. You can joke some of the time, but it shouldn't be to that degree where you step on somebody's toes. There's some things that you just should not be saying. And
I hardly joke on Skype, but if there are times when I have a funny moment and I want to make a joke,
This is starting to turn crap, folks. I'm just rolling right around.
yeah, but
I think this red card video should have been done a long time ago.
Actually, it shouldn't have been done at all, because people did not communicate with me whatsoever and ask for my side of the story. Nobody did. See, if there would have been proper communication and if people would have would have said they were offended by my jokes, I don't think I would have been telling jokes at all. Because I didn't really want to tell jokes. I really wanted to be like Aubrey and Ben and whatever not, and do my own videos for fun with Skype guests. And now I'm not doing that because of what happened here. Thanks a lot to Rodney and his video.
It should have been, yeah.
I'm just gonna simply agree it should have been done a long time ago.
Yeah.
Back when it started a whole issue there, but it started a whole the day with his body now and stuff, and it's gotten in enough of a trouble.
Yeah, and I mean, the amazing thing about it, Aubrey still chooses to be friends with him.
Well, he didn't after your red card video, Rodney. All because you thought that I wanted to actually be with Robin Moore, and that wasn't true. Especially when I had a girlfriend at the time.
Why? I don't know. I mean, is there just something that he sees? Like, does he just constantly like laugh when he says, or just the things that he does, like when Aubrey like says anything and gives like redneck spanking, or what? I don't know, but that is my question. Why? That's why I chose never to. Sorry, but that's why I chose never to hang out with him either. Is I've heard all this stuff before, and I just never thought something like this would happen. But I mean, and here then.
Well, honestly, Steve, I just used it. I just wanted to have fun. That was it. Because that was the only way I could do anything. Honestly, I didn't had technology at the time to do my own gameplays, just like with Aubrey Scott and whatever not. Fortunately, I can't do that.
And, you know, when I hung out with Packer Butler and excuse me, when I hung out with Packer Butler, I didn't care then, I do care now since this had with Robin too. And I feel bad for her because and all I can say is just feel bad for her that she had to go through that. Yes.
Here's my take on it, Robin. You should be around people that make you feel like you're the person that you are, that makes you feel good about yourself. You shouldn't be around nobody that gives perversion jokes, if you will.
Not necessarily. When she's grown up, honestly. If she's grown up, she's grown up now, but back then she wasn't. I don't think anybody should be making jokes around her that she's offended by, honestly. And if I would have known she was offended by my joke, I wouldn't have said it a second time.
Shouldn't be around perversion. That's my take on it. I'm not just speaking.
Oh, and now she wasn't around perversion. She got offended because there was no communication whatsoever, and she didn't talk with me about it. If she would have said something, because communication is definitely key.
As a friend, I'm speaking as a parent, because I'm that age too. I'll be 36 in January, for the record.
Sure, but take it from us. I mean, I'm just saying, from Rob and I weren't here, I'm just saying that I would never hurt anybody. I would never say jokes like Patrick would, and I'm saying it as a friend because I'm serious. Because, like I said, I care for my friends, and what I like to do is hang out with my friends a lot and have a good time. That's all I do. And I care for every one of them that are on here, including Alex, Greg, Rodney, Gary, and many others. And not only that, I love them all like brothers. Even if we do have differences of opinion sometimes.
Yeah.
That's right. But I care for every one of them, even though we go through our rough times and stuff, and sometimes we gotta let it go.
Mm-hmm.
That's why that I care for everyone on here. I mean, you may not be able to see it through the camera, but I'm in a little bit of tears right now because it's fine, Craig.
Yeah, it's serious. I mean, I'm upset right now, honestly, because I mean, I just want him. I mean,
By the way, Rodney got really upset, and trust me, I will explain that at the end.
yeah.
It's more than just a headache. That's right. I can't stop thinking about it because I was, almost up all night thinking about it because I just couldn't stop thinking about it. I just could not stop crying. I mean, I really could.
I could go.
Well, I almost cried because of what happened that one particular night, and trust me, it was quite a bit of things that happened.
Sleep yesterday. That's why I took off work today. I could not go to sleep because of this issue. This is somebody that you should not have on your Skype call, folks. That's what I'm saying. This is somebody you should not have on your Skype call. If you see somebody.
By the way, Rodney, I haven't hardly been on Skype. Ever since then, I haven't been hardly on Skype anymore. How do you feel if you were hurt? Would you want to be on Skype with people? No. Because I was hurt because of what happened, and trust me, I got more to explain after the video is done.
And acting like a predator on the call and a pervert, they should not be on. I mean, now me, I'm a forgiving person, but I will not forget about the stuff that they do and stuff. Because I don't want God to hold it.
Yeah, Jared Fogle.
But
Jared Fogle.
Me, personally, Pat, because I don't have a lot more to say on the video, I'm going to give you a red card.
Yeah, and fuck your red card.
And really, you need more than a red card. You do need police at your house.
Yeah, and you need to start acting your age, Rodney.
Because the police need to come to your house right now for what you did. And I hope the police see this video. Because you need to examine your life, Patrick, and you really, in all cases, you need to act like a man.
How are they going to see a video and there's no evidence to me being guilty? How is that? Especially when you didn't allow me to tell my side of the story, and trust me, that is coming up.
That's right. Yes.
That's what I'm saying. You're 30-something.
My entire side of the story.
You should say, if you say that stuff to her, that's okay, because you're with your girlfriend. But you don't say that shit to a 13-year-old girl.
Exactly. You see that?
I don't, Rodney. I don't say those type of jokes at all. They were meant for fun in the Skype chats. And they were not said to Robin Moore.
Once again, if you say that stuff to the wrong person, they're not going to be nice to you. Aubrey and I have said this multiple times. You get hurt. You land in jail.
Yeah, so
Possibly worse.
So Patrick, really I said, and then really folks, I said, all I need to say about him, I blocked him. I don't really want to know him no more.
Yeah, you blocked me after a certain incident, and I will tell about that at the end of the video.
And I'm done here, Steve.
Okay.
Oh, glad you're done, Rodney. Glad you're done. I'm not done with you.
Anything else? Let me just say, Brennan, you're like running for my channel and say, no, I know you have changed, but you probably might not.
Because I blame you mostly now.
He's not going to change, Craig, because when a person is perverted like that, that's all that is on their mind, is being perverted.
How can I change? How can I change, Rodney, when my jokes were meant for fun? For God's sake. That joke was supposed to be for fun and had nothing to do with Robin Moore. And it wasn't towards Robin Moore. You just thought that way.
Give me a red card. I'm gonna unfriend him on Facebook. I'm gonna take him off Skype. I'm done with him. anybody that is watching this, that's not part of us. We're his friends. After Mother, you heard everything they said, and me as well. Please log him and like on Facebook or Skype, whatever, or YouTube, whatever you have, and just block him because, like we said, that is the way he acts, and he will never. 9 times a day will never learn.
And I'm amazed he has over 800 subscribers on his channel.
The thing about it is, you know how long I've had those back at the time? 800 subscribers on my main channel, Rodney. I got that at a slow pace. That was years and years of doing videos at the time. I'm actually up to more than that, but back then I only had about 800 subscribers, and it wasn't much. There's a lot of channels that have more than that, even more than what I have right now.
I'm amazed at that. How did that number get that high?
It got high because I've been doing videos on YouTube for a very long time. Starting in 2007, Rodney. You should have checked every single one of my videos.
I don't know, I just did it. Like,
See, you did no research to me whatsoever. None. I've been using my main channel since 2006 and been doing videos on that since 2007.
his videos and stuff, and Michael Jackson albums, and a few other things, and that's it. Well, more importantly, who cares?
Now, I will explain that in the near future why I have quite a bit of Michael Jackson albums, but that's not for this video.
But like, why get subscribers like a porn star when you should gain subscribers on videos?
Alright, I'm going to stop the video right here because I'll have a part 3. I gotta remove some videos off this so that way I can finish. I'll see you in part 3.